Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to talk to you today about, is the incident at the Hank's Old Irish Pub in Cape Town, did it really happen? And is it racist? Now, if what was proven, or what was allegedly happened, which what allegedly happened was that a bouncer told a black patron that black patrons are not allowed without white escorts. And the patron's man, Christopher Logan, came in there, vouched for the guy, and said, this is wrong. This is against the law, and against South African law, it is against the law to discriminate. It seems like it only gets enforced if it's discrimination against black South Africans, not against somebody else, but that's a different video for a different day. However, Christopher Logan has ties with the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters Party, which is one of the opposition parties in South Africa, and it's a radical leftist organization. Okay. And the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters, constantly call for the slaughtering of white people, the killing of white people, but they do allow white members. And one of them is Christopher Logan. He's tied into the EFF. Well, there's been a lot more evidence now that's come dribbled out that the video that was produced claiming that the pub did not allow blacks to enter without white escorts, that video was edited largely by Christopher Logan, and a lot was left out. Okay, here's the thing. Hank's Old Irish Pub has been in business in South Africa for 30 years. Okay, this is the first time they have ever had a racist incident like this happen. Hank's Irish Pub has temporarily closed since then. They haven't gone out of business. But they have said that a lot of the member staff has received threats. They have received threatening phone calls, threatening letters, threatening emails, sometimes having their life threatened on this. Now, here's the thing, okay? The owner said that he does not discriminate against patrons. Patrons can be any color, and that's been on video where Christopher Logan and the owner were having a heated discussion, and Christopher Logan actually shoved the owner. The owner said he would have to speak to the bouncer and get the bouncer's side of the story on the situation. The bouncer denies, he's got to get the bouncer's side of the story first before he does anything else. Now, the pub has denied all accusations for the most part, but they've also said they're not going to speak without a lawyer. Now, here's the thing. Hank's Old Irish Pub has been in business for 30 years in South Africa in Cape Town. This is the first time they've ever had a racial complaint against them. A lot of the musicians that come into the bar and the pub are black or colored musicians. Now, yes, racist people can like black music. I'm not saying that at all. During the days of segregation, a lot of racist white clubs and bars would have a black singer, but they would have to be escorted as soon as they were done singing. Now, here's the thing. Okay, we do know Christopher Logan's tied in with the Economic Freedom Fighters Party, and the Economic Freedom Fighters Party likes to stir up a lot of unnecessary trouble. That's number one. Number two, okay, there's been a lot more evidence now that he largely edited the video where that was quote-unquote proof of the racism at Hank's Old Irish Pub. Number three, he got belligerent with the owner when the owner was just trying to talk to him and say all the owner said was he had to get the bouncer's side of the story because there may be a different side of the story. Because bars and pubs in South Africa, they can't refuse somebody on the service on the basis of race. But if somebody comes in and looks intoxicated and looks like they're going to act belligerent, then they can refuse service. Or if somebody doesn't have an ID on them and they look very young, and you don't want to run the risk of getting an underage person, because in the United States you could get fined. In South Africa, I'm assuming it's the same way. I mean, there's a drinking age in both countries, and if they look underage, they can't come in the bar, and if they don't have an ID on them, there's no way of verifying that. So there's a lot more that needs to be discovered before we determine if this incident is racist or not. Now, what could have happened was the bouncer himself may be racist. But the owners and the rest of the other staff at Hank's Old Irish Pub are not. I mean, there's a lot of picketing and protesting outside this pub, and I just say let an investigation take place before people start jumping to conclusions. I mean, a business that has been in business for 30 years, if this was a long-standing policy that blacks were not allowed in this bar without a white escort, somebody would have complained before this 30 years. The business would have been fined and the business would have been shut down. Now, there could have been a racist bouncer that refused this person's service because he didn't have a white escort. That could have very well happened. The bouncer himself could be racist, but the company itself might not be racist. And the bar does celebrate jazz music. And we all know where jazz music came from. Ronaldo hosted a good video on analyzing it. I mean, what the lady, another lady said on WhatsApp about instead of banning pit bulls in South Africa, ban black South Africans, that was clearly racist. It was proven she said it, and it was blatantly racist, and she should suffer the consequences for saying such a racist thing and calling for the death of certain people just because they're a certain race. But as far as the incident at Hank's Old Irish Pub, there's a lot more evidence that needs to go out. I mean, Christopher Logan has been seen assaulting the owner when the owner just said they have to get the bouncer side of the story, which is true in any case. And Christopher Logan was acting belligerent there, and we know he's tied to the economic freedom fighters. That we do know. So anyways, hope everybody's doing well. Take care. God bless him. Bye. Bye-bye.